Welcome to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. And to our viewers at home, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to talk about the road to your retirement dreams. And we have 3 steps to help you navigate to have the best years ahead. So thank you for joining us today. Kristen, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. And Greg, how are you?
Doing great. Yeah, I'm excited about today's show. I think it's going to be very, very helpful.
Most definitely. And we are going to open today talking a little bit about the world of dreams. I don't know about both of you, but I have a lot of dreams per night. But here's what they say. Most people dream multiple times per night during REM sleep, adding up to hundreds over even 1,000 dreams per year. Most are quickly forgotten. Kristen, you had a crazy dream recently. Let's talk about that.
Yes, we were talking about it on our drive over to the studio.
Yes.
So I dreamt.
But
I
both
dreamt
work on me. Yeah.
that Christian, who, as we all know, we've been talking about it, he's off at college down in Florida, and I haven't quite been down to Florida yet to see him.
Okay.
So I'm going to be going in the next couple weeks. But I dreamt that he had a girlfriend. Okay, I'm getting all mixed up because I'm getting all twitterpated again because I was really upset by this dream.
Were you mad at him when you woke up?
I was so mad when I woke up. He had a girlfriend, but the girlfriend had shaved teeth that were like spikes, and every other tooth was a pearl.
It's crazy.
How insane am I?
You're not insane. You're a worried mom, but go on.
But I don't know, like, was I dreaming about sharks? And that's why she had spiked teeth? I don't know, but she had this weird mouth. And I'm like, why did you pick a girl like that? And then I went to shake her hand, and she shook my hand really weird and didn't look me in the eye. Yeah. And all the things I taught him to look for, were not in this package of a girl. And so I asked the wine. He said, well, I wanted an interesting girlfriend, somebody that was a little different. Well, Christian is very different. He's very quirky. But I'm like, okay, this is not it. I woke up wanting to call him. I was that upset. Yeah. So
I'm sure.
I had a very strange dream. And I dreamed something like that last year about him too. So I don't know.
It's a worried mom.
Why is it Christian too? Because she had this dream that she was convinced she had this dream about him doing drugs. So she wakes up so convinced, she was so mad, she marches up to his room, wakes him up out of a dead sleep. Are you doing drugs?
Oh my goodness gracious! Odd. It feels so real.
Are you doing?
Yes, and this is the boy who's going to school to be a missionary. So,
so that's not happening.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of dreams, because they're just so much fun to talk about, what about people that are dreaming for retirement? Talk a little bit about that. How do you help build that picture for what their dream retirement will look like, and what are the steps that you typically take?
Well, here's the thing: we don't want to create dreams for the families we work with. We want to give you a means to fulfill those dreams.
Nice.
Through planning.
Yes.
And I think that's so important. But we need to really get down to the rudimentary process of creating goals if we're going to create the goal to win in retirement. And there's an old acronym. I actually had to look it up. I didn't totally remember it, but I remembered something about goal setting and SMART. And so I looked up what the acronym for goal setting was, and it was SMART. So SMART, be specific. It needs to be measurable. That's the M. Okay. It needs to be achievable. That's the A. Relevant and time bound.
I love that.
And that's how you get to a real goal. But I wanted to simplify it a little bit. It's not as clever of an acronym. And I really think it's define your goal, identify what it is you're going to do to get to that goal, and then set a time frame or review the achievement process of that goal. And I think that's the easiest way to do it when you're in retirement and you're thinking about maybe retiring, really looking at what it is you want to do, because everything is planned around that, and setting that goal in a really specific way, not just, oh, I want to be able to travel. Well, this is what I want to do. This is what it's going to take to do that. This is what it's going to cost every year if I want to do it again.
Yes.
And really nailing down what it is you need to do specifically.
Yes.
Well, this segment's going to be all about acronyms, but because I have some too, but mine are probably better. I'm just kidding.
I love it. What do we have?
Well, but in my mind, as we sit down with people for the first time, I feel like it's so important to discover where people have been before you can really help them get where they want to go. And help them discover what their goals are, because to me, the hardest part in that first meeting is to get people to open up about what it is that's truly important to them. And for some people, it comes really easy. For others, it's really hard to verbalize. So helping people verbalize that so that they can go for it, you know?
Absolutely.
And the majority of people that come in to visit with our team, we've discovered have really an uncertainty. You know, I think I've done enough, but have I really?
Or asking if I've measured up to someone else.
Yes, sometimes that's the case. So some dreams can be very simple. Some can be very complex. So everybody's dream is a little different, and that's what makes it so wonderful. Everybody's situation is unique. But I believe this with all my heart. Fulfilling your dreams, whatever they may be, begins with a process.
Okay.
So I want to give, since dreams begin with D, the 5 Ds of fulfilling your dreams.
I like that.
And
That's
retirement,
nice.
right?
That's nice, yeah.
So number 1, define. Define your true goals.
Okay.
Sometimes that's difficult to really understand what it is you want. Do I want to travel? If I do, where do I want to go? What type of vacations do I want? Do I want to include the kids and grandkids? How much is that going to cost? Really, I mean, all those things are there, but defining the real goals. Number 2, discover. Discover what it costs to achieve your goals.
I think that's
Very
the biggest
good.
part of the process,
Yes.
really.
How much is that going to cost? And, you know, I've got a big calculator right next to me in the conference room. And I mean, we're sitting there. It's like it's an accounting class sometimes because, okay, how much is that going to be? All right, we're talking about how much you want to spend on vacations. How much do you normally spend? Realize that retirement's probably 10 to 20% more than pre-retirement. We're really calculating things out. And we're trying to get to a number because when we get to that number, then we can understand what it is they really are going to have as a gap between Social Security, pensions, maybe rental income, any other income sources they have, and then what the true need is. So that's discover. Define, discover. Number 3, determine. Let's determine the feasibility of reaching your goals.
Right.
You know, is it feasible? Is it not? I mean, I sat down with a couple just last week and I had to tell them, you know, you're probably not going to be able to retire until you're 70. They didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to tell them.
Right.
You know, that's never fun for me. But they hadn't done enough. And they had a whole house full of toys, but no money in the bank. I said, okay, how much are you using these toys? Well, they had a couple of them they were using a lot. I said, okay, sell the rest. Let's take that money. Let's put it towards your dream, right?
Absolutely.
So that was a hard conversation. So define, discover, determine. Number 4, draft. Draft a plan to accomplish your goals. That's where we come in. We help people all the time. Draft a plan. It's so fun. It is. And it's their plan. When they walk out there, I said, you know, it's not our plan, folks. It's your plan. You want to change it? Great. It's your plan. We'll change it. You want to adjust it? Great. It's your plan. We can adjust it. But we have to draft a plan. Number 4, don't procrastinate.
Love that.
Don't put it off.
5. You said 4 again.
That was, number 5. Okay, you were right.
Keeping tabs.
Don't procrastinate. Don't put it off because it costs more to wait till later.
It most definitely
It just does.
Yeah. All right, Greg, thank you so much. Kristen, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, yes, I have an acronym as well. We're going to take the fear out of retirement. What is fear? False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. You deserve to have peace of mind in your retirement years. We're talking all about having a dream retirement. How do you do that? You need to have a written income plan. As we spoke in prior shows, income is the outcome. And without knowing exactly where you stand financially, how can your dreams come true? All you have to do is call in today. Take advantage of this complimentary consultation with the Legacy Retirement Group, their team. The number is 614-336-7660, 614-336-7660. Or simpler still, grab your smartphone, click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. We're talking about 3 steps today that you can have your dream retirement. We have so much more to uncover when we return. Stay with us.
You've spent your life working, saving, and doing everything right. But when the paychecks stop, are you truly ready? One wrong move, like ignoring taxes, rising healthcare costs, or market risk, could derail everything. In Winning Retirement, advisor Greg Taylor, with over 30 years' experience, shares real stories, smart strategies, and simple steps to help you retire with confidence. Learn how to turn your savings into lasting income, reduce taxes, and protect your legacy. Winning Retirement, because it's your time to win. Download your free copy today at winningretirementbook.com.
Welcome back to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group, and we're talking all about how you can have your dream retirement, and we're uncovering 3 steps to do so. This is such a great show. Thank you for being with us. Well, Walt Disney famously said, "All of our dreams come true if we have the courage to pursue them." I love that because we love Walt Disney.
Yes,
he's one of our favorites, right? Disney. So once someone knows what their dream retirement looks like, how do they start mapping out a plan that makes it possible? Where do you even begin in that process?
Well, and I love that quote. And why do you need courage, right? Do you ever think about that quote?
Them.
And I think it's a lot of times people, especially when you're thinking about succeeding, before you think about succeeding, a lot of times you have that fear of failure, and that holds you back from the success that you're capable of because you're so afraid of failing. And with retirement, I feel like that we met with families over the years that are there. Like they don't even dare to think of the cool things that they can do with all the dollars that they've worked so hard to get to accumulate during their working years. And so they what's the word I'm looking for? They settle into just the normal,
right?
You know, a normal retirement.
Right.
They don't really even consider thriving completely in retirement. And that's what we want people to do. That was the whole premise of this show, was really thinking through what it is you need to do so that you're not afraid. You can go out and do all the things you want to do, and you're not afraid of not having enough at the end of the day to be able to survive. We want you just to be able to thrive without worrying.
Yeah,
Thrive,
Kristen,
absolutely.
Just about a month ago, our team had a couple come in and visit, and they came in and we said, you know, tell us your story. Tell us why you came in today. And they looked at each other and they said, we just hope that we can survive this thing called retirement. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? Just survive? Well, have we done enough? You know, we've kind of tried to do without so much of our lifetime to make sure that we wouldn't be caught shorthanded, you know, when we weren't working anymore. And have we done enough? And, you know, are we going to be able to, you know, just get through retirement without running out of money? And I said, well, what I hope you'll learn today and through our next meeting is that you don't have to just hope to survive retirement, that you can thrive and make it every bit what you want it to be.
Absolutely.
But I said, setting aside surviving for a moment, in your mind right now, all I want you to do is picture what an ideal retirement would look like. Paint the picture for me.
I love that.
So with your words, share with me what, if it were possible, what you'd really like for it to be. And, you know, it's kind of cool. The wife starts tearing up.
Oh.
She's like, I never thought that what I dreamed about could be a reality. I thought for us that probably was just something that wouldn't happen.
Wow.
She's like, I've been afraid to really dream. So I said, well, just humor me for a little bit. Just if you could dream. I said, I know it makes you a little bit vulnerable, but if you could dream, would you mind sharing with me what those dreams might look like? And so they finally started opening up and sharing with me the things that were important to them, like doing special things with their grandkids. You know, we never really did a lot. You know, we would give them a little bit in their birthday card each year, and we would do a little bit here and there, but we always felt like we needed to be too cautious. I said, so keep sharing, and they did, and they told me all the things that were important to them. So what was really cool was after we went through their things, and they hadn't quite saved $1 million yet, but just under.
Okay.
And they had, one had a really good pension. They had Social Security. And to live beyond what they had been living on, they needed about $40,000 a year to really make all those dreams a reality. So we were able to take about $500,000 of their savings, make it part of their income plan to generate that extra $40,000 a year. That left a little over $400,000 that they could use for the long term for growth and keeping up with inflation and, you know, helping with maybe future taxes or healthcare things and things that could come up down the road. They had about $50,000 in the bank that they had tucked away for emergencies and things. So when we went through that second meeting and I laid out the plan, the written income plan, to show them how that they wouldn't run out of money for the rest of their days, they wouldn't run out of income. Now they're both crying. And so all of a sudden, the things they never thought were possible were now coming into light as a potential reality.
Yes.
And that's what changes the game. That's what it's all about right here. It's the 5 pillars of your retirement plan, your investment plan,
Okay.
your income plan, your tax plan, your healthcare plan, and your legacy plan that you leave behind. And they're all important, but I think the income plan is the most.
Most definitely.
It's the most important. Then we work on the investments. We want to make sure that people have wise investments for what they're comfortable with, right? I mean, because we're all comfortable with a different level of risk. Some people are comfortable if their portfolio fluctuates 30 or 40%. Others would be ready to take cover and hide from investments altogether at that point.
That's true.
You know, 15 or 20% or even 10 in some cases is the maximum volatility that some people can stomach. So we have to make sure that we're on track with that, to make sure that, okay, they've got a portfolio that will keep them within the realms of comfortability when the market's doing bad things. Right now, it's near all-time highs, and we're excited about that.
Yes, everyone's happy.
That is the absolute key part of having an income plan first.
Yes.
Because then you're not just looking at your investments as the money that's going to get you to where you want to go in retirement. You've got the income already set. And I think that's the key part, is when you look at that, you can afford to take a little more risk because you understand where your income's going to come from. You're not worried about that paycheck.
Most definitely. And how often do you recommend that a plan should be reviewed?
Well, we recommend yearly.
Okay.
Because there's a lot that can happen in a year's time. And sometimes it's just a review and, hey, things are right on track. Things are going the way we want. You know, a lot of our reviews are, okay, here's what you're invested in. Here's what we moved out of last year. Here's what we moved into this year. Here's how some of the changes are. Are you still comfortable with the same level of risk? And what's interesting, typically, when the market's going really, really well, people want more risk. When the market's going really, really bad, people want less risk.
But understanding that the team behind the scenes is reviewing it more frequently than every year.
Yes. Yeah, our team is watching the investment side every single day. You know, our investment team does a fantastic job. Our chief investment strategist was in once a year approximately. We have an investment summit for our clients. We bring all our investment clients in, invite them in. We usually do it at a fun venue. This year we did it at COSI. And a lot of them hadn't been to COSI in decades.
Oh my gosh, the Science Institute. How fun.
Yeah. So we did it there, and people got to go and, walk around and enjoy the experience, and had a great lunch together and got to hear what our team is doing behind the scenes with their investments.
Staying up to date on what's going on.
Yeah. So an income plan, an investment plan, a tax plan. Taxes are big, and it's a big part of our plan, so we have to make sure we're accounting for that as well.
So those are the 5 pillars of a successful retirement. Greg, thank you. Kristen, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, this is your opportunity to have your own complete planning review. If you're in the viewing audience today and you're asking yourself, have I taken the proper steps to make sure that my retirement will be the one of my dreams? Well, this is the perfect opportunity for you to call in and to gain that complimentary complete planning review. You call in to 614-336-7660. Again, 614-336-7660. If you're just rushing out the door, you can grab your smartphone, click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. Takes you right to the landing page of Legacy Retirement Group, and you can schedule your time accordingly with the team. We're going to take a very short commercial break, but again, we're talking about you having the retirement of your dreams. How do you get there in 3 simple steps? We've gone through 1 and 2. Finally, number 3 when we return. Stay tuned.
We know the market is going to get worse from here. This is the biggest monthly decline in 10 years. People's 401ks took a major hit.
My investments are tanking. My retirement isn't going as planned. I can't believe I let my kid talk me into buying crypto. I mean, what is that anyway?
This was the 4th worst contraction in history.
So how are you two doing?
Your financial future doesn't have to be uncertain. I'm Greg Taylor with Legacy Retirement Group. If you've amassed a nest egg, it's time for a financial advisor to help you reach your retirement goals. This is one of the greatest tax windows in history. Now is the time to take advantage of this tax discount while you can. We specialize in retirement planning, tax mitigation, estate planning, and much more. Plan your retirement right. Call now for your complimentary portfolio review and tax analysis.
Welcome back to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group, and we're talking all about you having the retirement of your dreams in 3 steps. Well, this is such a great show that I know viewers at home are really enjoying it, and it seems like when you plan for something, you're creating milestones, you track your progress, which increases the likelihood, of course, of reaching your goals. But once you have a plan for someone, how do you know that they can stay on track, especially when life throws curveballs? Because we've talked about this before. Sometimes things just happen that you're not prepared for. So how do you prevent someone from derailing from that plan?
Well, that actually is exactly why you need a plan, because it helps you to avoid emotional decision making. Because you have something that you're referring to and saying, okay, this is the track record. This is where I want to go. These are the things I'm invested in. This is what my plan is accomplishing. So when you get the things that we'll call it life, right? We always say that.
Life
it's just
comes
life.
at you.
When life happens, now we have a basis for our decision making. We're not just using our emotions of fear and letting that drive us, or even greed. Let's say the market just blows up into this wonderful thing all of a sudden, and we want to make a decision based on that. We have our plan to refer back to make those decisions now.
Yes, and you have to really look at the scope of your plan, because there's a plan that's based on hope, and there's a plan that's more based on no. K-N-O-W.
Okay.
Well, hope,
I was going to say, wait,
hope deferred maketh the heart sick.
Yes.
Right?
Very nice.
Yes. So you don't want your dream to turn into a nightmare.
That's true.
And what do I mean by that? So your plan needs to be tested against all the things that could possibly happen. I can tell you that Kristen, when I'm thinking about doing something, she will throw back at me every possibility of how it could go wrong.
Oh my gosh, I do this.
Compliment me. I was going to go, oh, let's hear the compliment. I don't know if that was a compliment,
What
but
kind
I am.
of is?
No, it is. I'm that way.
The devil's advocate is what he calls me.
Yeah.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with that, because if my plan holds up, then it'll hold up to those things that can come around, right?
That's true. That's true.
So for instance, would the plan still work if the stock market crashed? So that's a question someone should ask themselves, because I've met with family after family after family in various time frames throughout my 32 years of doing this. And what I've discovered is I've met so many families that their retirement dream became a nightmare, because when things went bad in the market, all their success for retirement was based on the market.
Oh my gosh.
Mama taught me, look, Greg, be optimistic, hope for the best. And I am very optimistic, but don't be foolish. Also plan for the worst. And that's where when Kristen comes back with this could happen, that could happen, what about this? That's a good thing.
And
Absolutely.
you hate when I'm right.
I hate it when she's right.
But it happens a lot.
It does.
I mean, it just does.
Yeah.
Well, with men, even when we're right, we still end up on the short end of the stick. I mean, it just never works out for us. But I hate it when I see families, what they've gone through, because look, the stock market is a great place to grow your money over time.
Yeah.
But there's something called sequence of return risk. And so putting all your money in the stock market, you're working on the hope strategy. I hope the market doesn't go too far down. I hope that it's not consistently down. I hope that it doesn't come at the wrong time in my retirement. You know, if you retired in 1982, by 2000, you'd grown so much in your portfolio that, you know, the ups and downs of what happened in 2000 didn't really bother you, you know, a whole lot. You had enough room to weather that storm. If you retired in 2000 and you were depending on the stock market to get you through 100%, you're in a lot of trouble if you need income.
That's true.
So it really, you know, a plan should not be determined upon good timing. It should be determined upon good planning. And that's really the litmus test here between a solid plan and an unstable plan, is the ability to be successful in any economy. And that's the no plan is structuring it in such a way that you can succeed in any economy. That's why it's so important to set aside money for emergencies, because emergencies happen. Life happens to all of us.
Most definitely.
It really does.
Absolutely.
When it happens, are you prepared?
Yeah.
You know, when inflation got crazy after the pandemic, people with plenty of money in the bank could weather that storm. They could pay whatever it costs for eggs and whatever it costs for, you know, those essential things that people would use. And so people could do that. You have money set aside for income that's dependable. So now I don't have to worry about my paychecks. Or, you know, what I like to say, the playchecks in retirement,
fun
right?
money. Yes.
Yeah, the fun stuff.
You got to have fun.
The dreams. That's what we're talking about today, is dreams.
Right.
And, you know, a dream is a wish your heart makes.
When you're fast asleep.
Yes.
See, I'm singing now. Now you got me singing.
Well,
Kristen.
well, truly, the plan, the retirement plan, is the thing that allows your goal to be measurable. And so it all starts with making sure that you have a good retirement plan.
Yes.
And we made it so easy for our viewers right on our website. You're able to schedule your appointment directly from the website by clicking schedule now.
I love that.
And getting that process started of either making sure you have a plan that's going to work, or creating a plan because you don't have one at all.
So you can make sure to have the retirement of your dreams, winning retirement, if you will.
Yes.
Kristen, thank you. Greg, thank you. So the viewers at home, all you have to do is call in today to 614-336-7660 or click the button that says schedule now. Once again, schedule now. That website that you want to visit is testmyretirement.com. Took me a minute to get there for a second. 614-336-7660. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. We'll see you soon.